How's it going, everybody? Chef Gordon here, and today, real quickly, just gonna bang out another Druid video, and we're basically gonna cover what I think are the probably top three most viable specs for Druids in Phase 2. Phase 2 is coming out in exactly a week, so people are definitely, grinding their butts off trying to get ready for it. And one way that you can get ready for it is to obviously know how you're going to play your own character, being Druids, for this video. So, you could start focusing on certain gear, certain playstyle, whatnot, but pretty much got three specs. Just going to go over them really quick for you. You can almost, where can I put this camera? That it won't be bad. Okay, we'll just go like that. That works. Alright, so the first one is going to be pretty much a deep Resto Druid healing spec, but obviously you're still going to have a little bit more PvP potential, open world PvP, because that's what Phase 2 is. There's no battlegrounds yet. Keep in mind, this isn't like set in stone. You can definitely shift some points here and whatnot. But, dude, my phone's going crazy right now. Sorry for that. The first one we have is a 20-0-31 build, where you go deep into Restoration and pick up Swift Mend. But basically, as a Druid, also a couple variables for these situations, these builds and whatnot. I think this would be more of a larger scale battle for the talents that we're taking. There's people in talks of going in 40-man groups, having 5-man groups, having 10-man groups on how they plan on farming honor. So some of these specs are more geared towards the other ones. This one is definitely for a big like 200 v 200 kind of battle situation going on. But the 20 points in in balance, you go Nature's Grasp. I take Nature's Grasp on every build because it's just super, super good in PvP, getting someone off you, being even more hard to get as a Druid. Then we go 5 points improved Moonfire, and you eventually take that down to Vengeance. This is just so you can have a little bit more damage potential if you're chasing after someone trying to finish them off as a Druid. You're not gonna, just be mailing them to death. You actually have some options for you. Natural Shapeshifter, I think, is pretty awesome, especially because you need the 3 points and 2 points from Nature's Reach to get down here to Vengeance. Nature's Reach, obviously, just having range on your spells is awesome in PvP. And I think the Natural Shapeshifter, granted, you're not going to be going bear form too often, but this is mainly going to be for people who are trying to, break snares or whatnot, because you're going to be getting CC'd a whole bunch in these huge open world battles. And the Natural Shapeshifter will definitely help you conserve some of your mana. And then the 31 points into Restoration, you pretty much take all of the healing spells for the most part, and you do throw in stuff like Insect Swarm, so again, you have a little bit of damage potential. Get Swift Mend, you go all the way down to Nature Swiftness as well. Sorry, reverse those. Nature Swiftness and Swift Mend. Now here's where you could kind of change it up a little bit. You can definitely shift some of these points around and try to make do with that. You could potentially not go 5 points Nature's Focus, because this is just for hard casting and trying to not get interrupted. You could shift some of these points out if you wanted, per se, and you could put them into Gift of Nature, stuff like that, just so you have a little bit more overall healing. So again, all these points aren't final, but this is somewhat of a build that I would go for the 200v200, just as a Resto Druid. Just basically throw hots up on everybody and farm honorable kills and potentially finish off targets with a little bit of balance here. And moving on to our next spec, we have the Moonglow spec, which is pretty much almost the exact same spec here, except you are going to go all the way down to Nature's Grace here. So this is going to be a more offensive build, which I think this is more so for your intermediate skirmishes, having 10 to 20 people and whatnot, because this is primarily the build that a lot of Druids are doing in the Duelers tournament, where it's really, really good for soloing. You have enough damage with the points and balance tree here, and then obviously you have the survivability with the points that you take in Resto. But pretty much taking all of the exact same points here. You're getting Nature's Grasp still, you're getting your Natural Shapeshifter and whatnot, because you're going to go in and out of forms a whole bunch. The only thing you don't get is Swift Mend, but you never really ever cast Swift Mend on yourself with this build anyway, so you don't need the point. So just shifting a point here and there, but it makes your offensive capabilities that much greater having Nature's Grace here. And then probably the build that I'm going to be going is, this is the only true feral build that you can go and that I would recommend going. This one is really good just for out in the open world being a druid and just trying to solo people. This is a very viable build. I think this probably fits best into the 5 dude phone. You need to chill. I think this fits probably best in the 5 to 10 range as far as skirmishers going, because this build just offers you the best overall utility as a druid. You're able to fight in any of the shapeshifted forms. You're able to throw off some healing as well, because you go all the way down to Heart of the Wild, and you don't take leader to the pack with this build because you need that extra point to get nature swiftness. This again just gives you a little bit more tankiness, having that instant cast, healing touch, stuff like that on yourself, so you don't get instantly one shot. And it gives you a little bit of group / raid healing with the points that you get here. Insect Swarm, so you could stay in caster form and still be able to potentially finish people off as well. Just having another dot on someone is pretty nice as well. And then you just go good points for just naturally fighting as a cat for the most part. You don't go improve shred because you almost never shred in PvP. You're not going to go primal fury because that's a bear talent. Again, with feral aggression, it's hit or miss. I like ferocity every time over feral aggression. If you can get both, that's great for sure. And then thick hide, giving you a little bit of tankiness, brutal impact, feral charge, really nice. But then you're primarily getting all your damage here from the predatory strikes, blood frenzy, whatnot. So again, the 3 builds that we have are the Heart of the Wild Druid spec, which is primarily a feral combat druid, but you have some off-healing capabilities. This is your 5 to 10 man skirmishes, just going around in a group or 2 groups and just open world PvPing. Really good for excuse me, soloing as well. Then we have the Moonglow spec, which I think a lot of people are going to be going. This is primarily your caster form DPS while being able to perform heavy amounts of healing as well. And then we have the that Moonglow spec is also, that's good for your like 20 mans, but it's pretty decent for soloing as well. And then we have the just super deep restoration druid build where you go all the way down to swift mend. You don't get nature's grace, a little bit of offensive capabilities in human form, but primarily you're just going to be focusing on throwing up pots, keeping your raid alive, because you're going to be doing huge, massive open world battles with this build, farming honorable kills strictly by keeping your teammates alive. So those are probably the 3 best builds. Again, you can shift some points to your playstyle around, but this is definitely what I would recommend for druids in phase 2. I think you will have the most success. I think druids overall are going to do pretty well in phase 2 because they're very hard to lock down if you're in a right situation, and then they're very, very easy to get honorable kills, whether just throw up a hot or a dot on somebody, piece of cake. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, it comes out in a week, and I'm going to be playing the crap out of that Heart of the Wild spec, so hope to see you there. Again, I'll have all my other social media such as Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as other info down in the box below. Hopefully we will see you all soon.